Whoosh. Good morning, ladies. My name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If um, um, that I had this plan or since last night. So it's called What If Deku Was a Sleeping Monster? So the let me explain this to you, rest of you. Zuko has a basically Iron Man and type of thing where in this uh, basically the real Zuko was inside and the outside shows he did, yeah. So let's begin. And yes, I you know the drill. So yes, I do add zooming into this what if, so yeah. And I'm going back and forth so that yeah. So, Zuko and Zumi been born, and of course, the, the at age of 4, the, the Quark Doctor tells Zumi that she has a quirk and she can become a pro hero and all that stuff. And he also told Zuko that he's quirkless and he can't become a hero. But they didn't realize that Zuko was actually, or the outer layer was actually it's basically Zuko's autopilot. It makes him look like he's wide awake, when in reality he's just sleeping, so he can't really hear anything. So, yeah. So, so after the Quark Doctor, his parents abandoned him. And, of course, he goes to a Quarkless school. And he doesn't talk, actually. The character, Zuko doesn't talk at all, actually, through the entire What If. So, because he's sleeping, and he's sleepwalking, basically. So, let's do a time skip to 15. And Ochako, who was dating basically Bakugo, but because she was dating Zuko, but then when she heard that Zuko was quirkless, she dumped him and went for Bakugo. So so then let's continue. So that was back then, but now, time skip to 15. And Zuku's his outer body was just walking around. Or he goes through the quirkless school, like a high school, but yeah. They're like, man, you're more quiet. As he's like, as he got so many straight A's that even if straight A's were actual like things, like actual like building blocks, things like Lego, he would have built a tower that could reach from Earth all the way to the sun. That's how many straight A's. So then after that, and so a time skip to All Might vs. All for One. As All Might was down, but not out, as All for One says, it's time for you to die. As you see a black or like base or purplish attack that is basically like the entire galaxy, as All for One is in his prime. Hey, I forgot to mention that. As the All for One shoots a beam of light or purple light thing, and he calls it the Super Galaxy Explosion Cannon. As All for One, that attack would kill anybody. But then a kid or a shadowy figure just zipped across or walked across, and he's gets like basically punched right in the chest, or the laser attack went right, like punched him in the chest. As when the smoke cleared, as they see they thought Zuko was or they thought All Might was dead. But when the smoke cleared, Zuko was still standing. As everybody, he's surprised about that. As Bakugo knew who that kid was, Deku. But how did he survive? As All for One looks shocked too that the kid just stopped the most powerfulest attack in the entire universe. As All for One's trying to get his attention, I will destroy you too, kid. As out of nowhere, there's a giant yawn. Okay. Azuku's like, what just happened? I can't believe I missed so much out of it. As it's my, as All For One comes in, as Zuko did turn around to see All Might, as his eyes went from like, as he says, "Huh, can I get your autograph?" Huh? As he did look at All Might before, but he was in his sleep thing. As he pulls out the like a poster, or not poster, but more of a picture of All Might, and here's a pen. As All For One's like, or All For One, and everybody's like confused of why this kid is ignoring the most powerfulest villain. As he says, as Zuko looks over her, and All For One's like, kid, you're ignoring someone that's more powerful? Did you say something? Yeah, I said you're ignoring someone that's more powerful. To my eyes, I see you as a weakling, like everybody else is. Oh, that's it. As All For One turns his arm into a blade and like cuts Zuko right down the middle. You know. Oh. As they thought Zuko was dead. But then Zuko somehow survived. As All For One says, now, with him, that annoying brat, and out of the way, now it's time for, as he froze, as a big, like, basically, I'm gonna go to here. A big scare. I'm just gonna use an ice giant. Yeah, the Zuko was scary. As when All For One froze, as a booming voice from as he did turn around to see the giant sized Zuko, basically with he didn't have his shirt on, but he had a 2,000, I mean 2,000 abs. Basically his stomach, or so he was so jacked up that he looks like a ice giant, like the entire ice giant realm fused into his. Or he was like he looked like a jacked up guy. Ezuku says, "What?" or "How dare you strike me down? Now it's my turn." As All For One says, "Oh, crud." Well, BAM! As he hits like a truck. Because Zuku's size he was bigger than, or like basically example would be like All Might's buffed up form on top of an Endeavor, top of All For One, and the Hawks. Yeah. And yeah. He was big. As he just comes in with a haymaker and he hits All For One. It obliterated him. As he says to All For One, "Don't mess with us, someone that has enough power to destroy you, All For One." Azuku's as he's just like, he's so excited. As so what did I miss? As Zuko tells Zumi, or actually, let's say, "Hey, Bakugo, long time no see." As they thought, he doesn't remember anything that happened because he was sleeping. The only time, so his quirk didn't manifest before, but his powers allows him to, he created an outer shell that time flows different inside of his body. So it would be like one whole day for him is equivalent, or actually not one whole day, but let's say yeah, one whole day on the outside real world, like outside of his body, is one day. But Zuko's was inside of his own body or the time, it just went super faster. So it transformed him into more of a, yeah. So he doesn't remember what happened till before 3 years old. Or no, actually during the 3 years old. Or no, after 3 years old. Because trying to explain this. When he was 3 years old, his powers and quirks manifested. No one knew about it. And so he was in a deep sleep, like basically like one of those like ice chambers things. And so he missed from age of 4 to age of 15. And yeah. So when Zuko's, he knows that Bakugo is still his friend. And why are you guys looking at me like I'm a whole different stranger, Bakugo? The he Bakugo's like, man, wait. As the him so basically, as everybody's still stunned at how big Zuko is compared to who the so Zuko was, yeah, every height when he was during, like, every year, he could have been taller, but I'm not gonna make him like a planet size taller. That's until the end. And plus, yeah, he was born with also a power, two quirks. One was his iron body. Basically, it's like his normal body, but then he can use it every time he gets super tired. And then Zuko's like, huh. As Baku's like, whoa. As he tells All Might that so I'm gonna check to see if I have a quirk or not. Or actually I do. I need an opinion on it. Really? You do have a quirk? As a voice comes out of nowhere. Yes, he does. As they see they see like you know how Iron Man suits usually, yeah. Well, Zuko's is his like quirk suit, like basically because he got cut in half. It said, or as it puts itself together or back together. Yes, he does actually. Name. I will update him on the current because he doesn't remember anything. Really? As Bakugo, who was shocked to hear that Zuko's, whom all this time he's been talking to a quirk. And call me Quirk. You've been talking, or rest of you were talking to a quirk instead of actual Zuko. Really? Yeah. As Zuko, or the quirk, walks over as he turns, as he looks at a time, or shows Zuko at that time. All right. As he stretches his arms out, as he lays down, after he was done, like, moving all the debris out of the... Because, yeah, as he lays down, away from a dumpster and all that stuff, he was laying in the sand. Yeah, his body was, his head, like, could touch the one end of the sand and to the city. Like, or should I say, because he was laying sideways. So it crossed the entire sand as he went to sleep. As Zuko he sees this as, or actually Quark says, yeah. Now, so, as Bakugo can't believe how big Zuko is, he actually has 2 quirks instead of 1. One that you're looking at and talking to right now. That's me. And the other is the flaming manipulation. But that's not all. As everybody's like wondering what that means, he has the powers of infinity and zero. Oh. And he tells them that he might be the most powerfulest person. You say that you're the strongest, but you've seen what happened to All for One. Yeah, I agree. As we all agree, even Sashi can't believe that his own son was sleeping from age of 3 to 15. That's how long he slept for. So, yeah. As everybody, or all those students can't believe that your brother is like a giant, basically. Yeah. So then the recovery girl, because in this alternate timeline, recovery girl is also a quirk doctor, basically another quirk doctor. She goes in and she tells, the machine went haywire it said quirk, fire manipulation, and all that stuff. Wow. If you're... But how in the heck did, as, let's say Bakugo says, how did Zuko, or Deku, as Quark, or the Quark says, you actually named me Deku. Okay. Zuko, has so much power. His quirk manifested before him at age of 3. So when it manifested, it basically took Zuko the yeah. So Zuko took, like, basically. So when next morning he wakes up, he gets up. He's bigger than a building. So as he, yeah. As Inko, or Sashi tells Inko that I can't believe, he's blaming himself for not seeing that Zuko had a quirks, like 2 quirks, and plus Recovery Girl tells Zuko, or actually Deku, that's his quirks, like robotical body, should I say, tells him that the quirk doctor lied and he didn't see that Zuko was actually not quirkless at all. As everybody's like, plus how big he was, when, yeah, everybody looked scared about, like, why this kid is different from all of us. His quirk manifested at age of 3. Rest of us had to activate our quirks at age of 4 to get them checked to see what quirks we have. But how? Yeah. As Zuko, who's like his feet, or so he's like trying to get comfortable. Like he curled up in the ball. Oh. Yeah. So he's just relaxing. So Nezu walks up to Zuko and tells him that he can go to UA and basically he can become a pro hero and yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah. So during that time, he basically, like other people, as he wakes up, or he is slowly waking up from his nap things. He still had straight A's and he's all caught up on his work thing. As everybody's like, man, this kid, as even Dobby's scared of what potential like threats would he cause if But every day he thinks that, or every time they see him, he's just, yeah. But he looks mad, but in reality, he's just tired. As his eyes are droopy. So everybody's like, I mean, gets him, as the mounted lady usually gets him, or like wakes him up, um, as he was, yeah, or actually, everybody knows. Plus, when everybody or all the girls saw his, like, basically shirt, the anime nose bleed. So, and no, as everybody, I mean, was like shot around the entire, like basically this is what everybody or all the girls were, like they were happy to, when they saw what Zuko looks like, and without his shirt off, as everybody's just, yeah. And that's what Zuko looks like. Or, no, that's what the anime girls, they just like fell backwards. And as, so the next day, Zuko says, I really need to put this shirt on. And every girl runs up to him and, like, I mean, literally running up to him and asking him to go on a date with them. Going from Momo, Jiro, Mina, you name it, and even Bunny Girl and Mountain Lady, I mean, were just straight up was asking him out. Out like, dang, as everybody's like, man, he's a real think magnet, isn't he? So then he went, as he's trying to, like, he actually made a shirt. Or so Deku, the quirk, made, or reached inside and pulled out the biggest shirt that he made during all night, as he puts on Zirku's to keep him from, yeah. As everybody's like, man, as he's like, huh. He's a real man. As Ochako, because Bakugo knows that the Ochako used to date in Zuko, so it's okay with him for her to like go back to Zuko. But then, of course, Momo, who's so every girl asked him multiple times as he's just like he walks away. He's trying not to be like, he's trying not to be like super he is embarrassed, yes, but not as much as the in canon. Because every girl asked him out as he's just as he basically goes to UA and yeah. I remember one of those girls, Pony, ends up nailing Zuko to the wall with her horns quirk, and strapping him to the as everybody. So Ochako walked right past the girls and like went right up to him and told him that that she is still in love with him and as everybody's like I thought you and Bakugo were dating. As Bakugo reminds them, no, we weren't actually. The Bakugo or Ochako is in love with Zuko. It's just she wanted to like choose someone that has a quirk based one. And yeah. So then the Ochako and Zuko gets married after that whole incident. But yeah. So they ended up with 2 kids that are born with the same thing what Zuko was. As he could see like his own daughter is sleeping inside of her own body. As he says, "Time to wake up." And like, yeah, because the Ochako asks Zuko, or always asks Zuko that, like, "Hey Zuko, how can you tell if our daughter and son are sleeping?" Well, there's 3 key factors, Ochako. First, if a person isn't talking, just looking at you, that means that two things more. Either they're sleeping or sleepwalking or they're just quiet kids. As Bakugo's looks over, saying, "So you could tell if a person is sleepwalking, right?" Yeah. Normally, it's a quirk like mine. So, Deku, as he points to the another green-haired kid, like most quirks, as Deku tells them, most quirks, like himself, or all quirks, have the two different things. There's ones that are overpowered, that, like the one flaw. Because in this alternate timeline, there's two types of quirks. There's ones that are basically cannot be controlled ones. Like when they get older, people that have quirks like that type can't control them anymore and all that stuff. Well, and then there's another one called sleepy quirks that basically is similar to quirkless, but there are way more watered down versions. Like what I mean by watered down is there are more of focuses on the letting the controllers use their powers without having to go over that. So Zuku's was on that side, the more calm quirks instead of aggressive quirks. Yeah. So, yeah, so now, plus the daughter of his, so the daughter and son of Zuku's and Ochako's, that's their daughter, Hunter, right there. And then their son is the same thing. As he's like, huh. As they both have the same quirk as their father, basically. As Deku did and use his own life energy thing to turn Ochako's quirk to to be on the calm side, similar to what Zuko's is. Because he could see it in Ochako's quirk that is on once it's fully grown, then it will be uncontrollable. He did tell Ochako that, and yeah. So, but Zuko, who had a great idea, as they built a machine to neutralize all the quirks to be on more of a calm side for the users to easily control instead of the aggressive. So, so Zuko just creates a machine, or Deku used his powers, as everybody's quirks were now not nullified, but more of a like switched to like from being like they are in control and he or the quirks Ernst being aggressive to others and all that stuff. Well, Zuko is, you know. So now this is the end of the What If. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, and peace.